All right, I'm back already, and I want to start this one off right because there are newer people to my channel, and because this is a new channel. Model 6 Plus, even though I'm talking about chess, it all goes back to Model 6 Plus. And what Model 6 Plus is real easy. You have a mother and a father. Your mother and father has a mother and father. So you got 4 grandparents, 2 parents. That's your Model 6. Nature gave you that support base. As soon as you were born, you have 6 parents, 4 grandparents, 2 immediate parents. The plus, brothers, sisters, auntie, uncles, nieces, nephews, the community. Nature gave us all this support for a purpose so that we could survive on this planet without an over amount of stress. But we be stressing because we not following the model that nature gave us, okay? Which fast forwards me to a special segment I wanted to start, which is with chess, because there's a lot of things that the chessboard illustrates and a lot of analogies that happen in life that are demonstrated on the chessboard. And there's a lot to be said and there's a lot to be gone over. I want to correct myself in my last video. I said that I was not going to teach it. You inadvertently will learn to play chess if you end up watching all these episodes I'm going to do, because I'm going to explain how the pieces move and what the objective is, which is a checkmate, which is why I start off with that, because chess is a lot to digest. It's a lot to digest, okay? So the average person either doesn't want to spend the time or the effort to digest all of what chess has to offer. And there's a lot of critical thinking. There's a lot of artisticness with strategy and figuring out how to get over to the other man's king or woman's king. There's a lot of mathematicalness that happens with this, and I touched based on that in the first video. And I want this next episode to go right into what they call pawns. All right. The pawn is a piece that has been explained to the whole world the wrong way. It's been explained as in, it's the least. We got it all wrong. These pieces are major. Absolutely major. I want to point out the fact that if you go to chess.com and you watch grandmasters play with these pieces, they will not let you steal not one of these. Not one of these. And not pay for it. You take one, you're going to lose something real bad when you're playing a grandmaster, okay? Because grandmasters understand how paramount each of these are. I'm going to do a quick demonstration here so we can, I wish this would have gotten presented to me this way when I first started playing, because without this understanding, you don't use these the right way. And that's in life. Here's the analogy. They say that we're pawns and that we're insignificant. No, you keep living your life. This is what the chessboard shows us. Pawns go one step at a time from the starting row, or a choice of 2. That's only from starting row. And then after that, it's one march. One march. The thing about a pawn is if a pawn can make it all the way, this is age. You're 10 years old, you're 20 years old, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. It keeps going. This is serious. You have to live to your older age, because as you move to your older age, as I just pointed out, I'm just using this as an analogy, 10, 20, 30, 40 years old, 50-year-old. 60, 70, 80 years old. If you make it all the way to the end, you know what happens to each last one of these? Every last one of these, pick out the right piece, turns into a queen or piece of your choice. But most people choose the queen because the queen has a lot more versatility than the other pieces. Now I want you to visualize. I wish I had more pieces just so I could burn this in your brain. Imagine all of these making it all the way down, and all of these are queens. All of them. That's why grandmasters won't let you take not one of their pawns, because they know if they get those all the way down, they can queen those. And usually in a game, if you can get another queen on the board against your opponent, usually 98% of the time, you usually end up winning the game. God forbid you get more than 2 of them down there. You won't make it to getting 8 down there. That's somebody that's really in the lower ELO rating, and that's the name of the scoring system in chess. That usually doesn't happen. But in theory, grandmasters are always thinking each of these are queens, and I got to get 1 of them down there, 2 of them down there, whatever the case may be. That's why they won't let you take a pawn without paying for it at least. And so if we think about this, if we get to live our lives the way we should, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years old, when we get to the end, it should be a big deal. We've acquired a whole lot of knowledge. We've acquired a lot to get all the way down there. We went through a whole lot. We went through a whole lot to get that far. Can't get that far by making decisions where, you're being volatile, risky behavior, taking yourself out of the game, getting in trouble with the law, all these things that we do, risky sex, and putting yourself in a position where you're trying to get all this money. I know they tell us we need a lot of money in this life, and yes, this life does force us to have some money, but it can't be all about money, because you cannot get this far down there. Okay, there's gonna be a lot of bumps in the road, and you could get took out. Usually what happens on the chessboard, these don't make it. It's like what species is that? I think that's turtles. When they get born, they come out of the sea and they gotta make it to the ocean. Is that turtles? I have to look that up. There's a species where they get born on the beach, but they gotta make it back to the sea. I gotta look that up. Same thing in life. You gotta stay alive to make it back to the ocean. Ooh, that's bugging me. I don't know. That's a seal? Or what have that be? But we'll have to figure that one out. But you gotta stay alive to make it that far. Because if you make it that far, there's usually reward. And it's not just in this life that reward happens, okay? There's a whole lot of conversation there. I'm not gonna unpack all that today, because I'm going to do another episode on pawns, because there's a lot to be said about pawns. In addition to marching all the way down to making it to a queen, they assist. It's like in basketball. They do a pick and roll that you wouldn't believe in this game. This game is so full of so many inferences in life and analogies. It's not even funny. There's a lot of pick and roll that goes on with pawns. So there's a lot of conversation to be had there. But again, as I said, I want to keep this series kind of short and sweet each episode, so that you don't get too bored and it's not too much to digest. But real quick again, let's do this. Let's go to starting row. All right. These 2 rows are starting row, okay? And your pawns get set up in the front row. We'll go over back pieces again individually because we don't want to make this too much to digest at one time because there's a lot. And if you get shown the right way, you'll think about this game the right way when you're playing, which is why I've always wanted to show a new student. Like I've shown people how to play chess before, but I didn't know any better to emphasize certain things, because if you don't get the right philosophy when you're starting off playing this game, you'll lose too many games unnecessarily. Way too many games. So I wish I was taught. Oh, I wish I was taught that you don't give up a pawn for nothing. You don't let your enemy just take one of your pawns like they're nothing or nobodies, because there's those nobodies. We're all somebodies. And if we keep advancing in life, we can become something that we can become things we don't even know. I've mentioned this in one of my other episodes, Model6, that I didn't know I was going to become a content creator one day. That's just something that long life, with social media becoming what it became, it's like, wow, okay, here's another avenue here. Okay, but let's go back just to the pawns right before we close this thing out again. From starting row, the pawn can move 1 square or 2 squares from starting row, your choice. So you want to do one there. That's only from starting row. That one there. That one there. After the first move from starting row, it's just onesies. And hopefully you can get one of those down there and it becomes a queen or whatever piece of your choice. Okay. So again, I don't want to make this long and boring, not fun. I want to have some fun with this and give you some true philosophy in case you ever do decide to play one day. You'll have a clue of what you're doing on the board. Okay, so today was our start with pawns. I'm gonna have to speak about pawns again because there's a lot of things that pawns do, and I'll show on the next video with pawns how they take. Okay, but I don't want to overwhelm you. I just want to give you a nice introduction to pawns and how pawns really work and how each of us, how we relate. We start off young, 10, 20, 30, don't forget that. Okay, and we get older, we get more advanced, we turn into a big deal toward the end. Especially that's how the creators see it. So we got to live as long as we can. So that's the analogy we're going to walk away with here today, is stay alive to make it to the end. See you in the next one.